So I think there's plenty of talk about go bags for people, but you know what? You need a go bag or something for your pets too. So let's talk about pet evacuation today and what you need to do to prepare. Right, Xander? Some of the SHTF type events, you get a prior warning. You know, often for flooding you get a warning. You get a warning for hurricanes and sometimes ice storms, thunderstorms, and often wildfires. But if it's a house fire or earthquake, there may be no prior warning. So it's important to have things where you can grab and go. Now, 20 some years ago, probably almost 24 years ago, 23, we had a extensive house fire, and I really wasn't, well, I didn't even know what a prepper was then, right? I don't think the term was coined yet. I maybe was a halfway prepper, but I didn't have things prepared for my pet. So as soon as I got the kids out of the house, the next thing I did was try to locate the animals. And believe it or not, our golden retriever Max was just like they say, we get him outside and he'd try to run back in. He was very scared by what was happening. So make sure you've got a good leash and a place to put your dog. 2 of the cats we found right away, and I just stuck them in the car. I didn't know what else to do, just keep them safe. I didn't have carriers or anything ready. So I have learned from my mistakes. Xander, you want to get down a minute? Watching all the twirling leaves. Now, you can buy a pre-made kit. I know Petco sells one for cat. Here's a picture. You can see it's a carrier, and then it has all the supplies in the carrier, so you can just grab and go. And I hope those supplies are in a separate bag, so you can just pull out the bag, put in the cat, and get ready and go. And that would also work with especially small dogs. But what are the supplies you need? Well, you need carriers, some way to get them to your vehicle or wherever you're going. Of course, they also need water and food. And those are the 3 most important things to take with you. But there are a lot of other supplies to consider. You want to have dishes for your food and water, leashes, and collars with ID tags is a great idea. If it's a cat, you want to have a kitty litter pan, kitty litter, and the scooping tool. And for smaller dogs, you may want to have puppy pads available, and you want to have the bags to pick up poop in, right? And some cleaning supplies is always a good idea also. You know, like toweling and fantastic, or something to wipe up any messes that might occur. And for your dogs, you might want stakes and tie-outs available. And if you have pocket pets, you know, like gerbils or guinea pigs, you want to make sure that you have the bedding that they need. And of course, if you have the time to grab and space, some of their familiar toys are a great idea also. One of the things I forgot to mention, do you know the hiding places of your pets? You know, we all know if we're going to the vet, it can be hard to find our cat because they're hiding somewhere. So make sure you know where they are so you can easily find them if you have to quickly grab and go. Yeah. But, you know, I was talking about that fire. When we had the fire, 2 of them I could find right away of our cats. We had 4th time. I threw them both in the car. But 2 of them I couldn't. And the fire department was there, not allowed to go back into the house. But we did have a cockatiel also, which my husband had ran downstairs with, put a towel over top of it and thought it would be fine. Well, we had no idea the fire would go on so long, and the basement was definitely flooding and smoke filled. So we convinced one fireman to go in and rescue that cockatiel and put it in their heated cab. And of course, that's what the news crew got when they covered our fire. But the other 2 cats, they hid well. So my daughter, who shouldn't have done this, but it was her beloved actual Persian cat, he was fearful of everything, Junior. Anyway, she found him completely soaking wet, but he had hid in the vent system. He liked to get in through the basement, get up, and he could crawl all the way through. So that's where he hid. Not the best place to hide in a fire, but he was fine. And Spike, our beloved cat of many, many years, she found outside waiting to, meowing to come in, and we were able to rescue all four. But know your pet's hiding places. Now, I do not have a grab-and-go bag prepared for my pets, but I do keep everything in certain organized fashion. So let me show you what I got. I'm sorry lighting is not the best in this room, but you can see I kind of have all my supplies here. Here's a big thing of food for them, Deli Cat. Here's some of their litter. And down below, in each of these spaces below, I have 3 of the cat carriers. And you can notice this is above. That's a disposable litter box. So again, I have everything ready to go. Something else important to grab and go is your grab and go binder. And I have a video on it that tells you all the important documents that you should have in a binder and ready to go. Part of those important documents are information about your pets. You should have vet records, you know, when was their rabies immunization, their feline vac, whatever other type of vaccinations they need to be boarded. You should have a good picture of your animal. And they say it's not a bad idea to have you with their picture for positive ID. And I use this little form, let me show you. But it has, you know, vet information, identification information, if you have a chip, the ID, all that type of information kept easily in my binder. The other reason you want a picture of your pet, just in case something happens and it does get lost, then you can easily make up a lost flyer with that picture. So one other thing you want to have is a list of pet-friendly hotels. Because if you do need to evacuate quick, you need to be able to stay at a place that your pets are welcome. So whatever your escape routes are, I suggest all you have to do is put pet-friendly hotels in the search for Google, and it will come up with a list of wherever you're going to be. And so that is really a good idea to have that list with you. Now you might also have family and friends that will put up your animals, so that's great too. But they're going to need that vet information and that vaccination information. Most shelters do not accept pets unless it is something you need for disability. So you need to have alternate accommodations. Now, especially if you're in a flood-prone or a hurricane or even an earthquake area, you probably should have the pet sticker available. Let me show you what I mean. And these are rescue alert stickers that can alert if you had to evacuate quick, couldn't find all your pets, what is inside. Or if you have evacuated with your pets, you indicate that on the sticker on your front door. Great idea if you live in such areas. Now, you need to have time for your pets to adjust to a different environment. It will be stressful for them. And one of the things you have to watch out for is your pet might try to escape and actually try to go back home. You know, do that long walk home. Now, there's one more SHTF event that we usually don't talk about much, and that is what happens to your pets if you die. Do you have a designated caregiver? Now, in my case, I know my sons would divide up the animals and they would take them, except for the chickens. I'm not sure what would happen to the chickens. I know my daughter would take the rabbits, so I kind of have things scoped out. It's a good idea to talk with your loved ones and decide who you want as your designated caregiver. Now, one more thing. What about livestock? Well, the only livestock I have is chickens, but let me tell you what my plan is. Well, this was the temporary pen for our 3 chicks, which soon became teenagers, and they recently moved out to be in the big coop. But as you can see, it's just made with one of those children's play yards, so it easily collapses, and I just have some rubber wire topping to it and a tarp, and I can quickly make a pen for my chickens somewhere else. The play yard easily collapses, and of course you can carry a tarp. I have a tarp in my car anyway, and it doesn't take much to roll up this wire topping, and then you have a temporary pen that you can use anywhere. So this is part of my chicken evacuation plan. Well, Xander had a lot of fun playing in the leaves while I made this video. And as always, please share the knowledge and subscribe. For future notifications, just hit that bell below. And please, he wants to get back down, please have a plan to evacuate your pets, which are part of your family.